Hey everybody, it's Rara, and welcome back to some more Satisfactory. In the last one, we tore down our steel factory, and now we just have this big open space. We also decorated the sides a little bit to be more like an actual factory, and we're hiding some of the gross underbits that no one needs to see. Also, I've mentioned this a couple times in the series, but like this game is just actually unplayable with the fog turned on. I don't understand how people do this. Like, why is there so much fog? Why is there literally fog everywhere? This looks awful. Please change this. Add a fog slider, please. I've been waiting since update 3. Fog on. Fog off. Clarity. It's like when I first got my glasses when I turned 13. The world became clear again. Before we get into this, I want to make this rambling a bit short. I actually went on in the last episode for like 7.5-ish minutes of the video before we even did anything, which is ridiculous even for my standards, so I'll try to keep it a little short from now on. But honestly, like all the stuff that I said, I felt like it was worth saying, and I don't really regret making my beginning ramblings that long. If it happens to be that long, it's just because I had to say this stuff, and you know what? I've only had one complaint thus far, and that's what I want to talk about. I mean, just for a second, the guy was saying that he had bitrate issues with my videos, and I might understand that because I record in 2K quality, but I have generally every bitrate option available from 240p all the way up to 1440p, and it's adjustable. I've never had anybody throw this criticism at me before, and I don't know if my videos like hard to watch, so if anybody else is running into bitrate issues trying to watch good old Red Fox Rara classics, please let me know in the comments. I would appreciate it. If it is a real concern, then I will address this, but I don't think that it matters. I think they were just trying to watch it at 1440p, felt stubborn that it wasn't loading for them because of like maybe internet issues or something, but hey, what do I know? Also, I think we can safely say that I've made it as a content creator because somebody wrote first on one of my comment sections, and that's never happened before, I don't think. So yeah, I mean, now that I've totally made it in the world of online creation, I'm gonna have to start knocking the hose off me, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding, I'm sorry, I respect women. Oh, Rara's a misogynist, caught in 4K, exposed, live, gone wrong, gone sexual, pranked. Anyways, let's get started, why don't we? What is happening over there? We have T-posing Bean Boys, and we're barely a few minutes into the episode. What the hell, man? Yeah, in this episode, I think our goal is pretty clear. We just want to work on steel stuff. We need to rebuild this whole factory, and I've made a little box for us. Hopefully this fits. I wasn't really thinking about space. This probably won't be enough, but we'll see, I guess. I made sure that all of these grids can connect. If you look up here, you see that those squares are aligned with these squares. And since these are connected to these squares and lined up with those squares, all of them can technically connect in the right way, like conjoined by platforms. That's just a fun little side note for later. Also, I had the thought while I was doing some editing, and it's that maybe we can get in there and... Oh, wait, okay. Yes, we can. We can get in there and get a wall under that wall that isn't connected to that one. So yay, no more weird corner thing. I know that was probably bugging somebody, but now we've totally cut it off, so you're welcome. So what is my first goal right now? Well, we gotta scale that mountain, and we need to replace those Mark 1 miners with Mark 2, as well as upgrade all those belts from, I think they're Mark 3 right now, to Mark 4. So I'm going to go and do that. We're gonna get enough materials to make 2 miner Mark 2s. Seems like I got everything I need, just need a bunch of portable boys. Although keep in mind, you'll get 2 extra porty boys back. So you have your inventory ready for that. I feel like you should have the option to turn off whether or not you receive portable miners from mining drills when you either upgrade or delete them. Because I feel like more often than not, although it's nice to just have more stuff, and I really appreciate the fact that Satisfactory gives you all of your materials for dismantling in full, it can be kind of annoying to get like... Because like, honestly, I forget that you even use portable miners sometimes, and when I delete it, I'm like, oh shit, well, I wasn't planning for that. My inventory wasn't ready for this. It's a very small little nitpick that probably doesn't mean a lot in the long run. But if you feel this way, I don't know, start like a Twitter hashtag or something. Hashtag no more portable boys on deconstruction with miners. That's bit of a long hashtag. Probably won't catch on, but you know, we can try. Wait, am I even? Oh, I am using 2 of these. Okay. Oh wait, but I don't actually need to replace 2 of them because the one is going for our coal generators down there, and that one's fine. I only really need to replace the one over. Oh, which one do I need to replace? I mean, I guess it's the top one, right? Because the coal generator one's got to be always running. And look at that. From a distance, once again, my factory looks like a goddamn motherboard. This happens every time because I am an uninventive, uncreative little piece of shit. I just can't, I don't have a creative bone in my body. This happens every time. I make a flat motherboard for a factory, and it always turns out like this. That's why I want to go ahead with like that weird spiral design that I thought of the other day, which is like, I don't know, dumb and but you know, you don't really see that, so I'll try to make it work in the future. Once we get to adding walls, I'll really think harder about all of this, and I want to do something special for like our main storage area, maybe something more of like a hexagon shape, but I'll get into my ideas for that later. But for now, it just looks like a giant motherboard. Although technically this is a little bit higher than that, but from this angle you can't even tell. I think this is my Satisfactory curse. I understand the numbers and logistics well enough, and I can build a technically efficient build pretty quick, but I am not creative in my ways of doing it, which is why I'm always talking about different ways to build things, because that is my struggle. I just want to do things more, inspired, unique, less like by the numbers. Anyway, we're gonna go over here and upgrade this machine, yes, this one, to a Mark II. Oh, I see. So yeah, in update 8, when you upgrade a miner, it has the red light even though it's technically on and functioning. And the only thing I found to fix this is to like delete the thing or like give it like a good little reset really quick. Not a big issue, just like a weird visual bug. Alright, so we're up to 240, but we can do better than that, can't we? Yes, we can. I asked that rhetorically. We can push this up to 480, and that's what we want. It's going to require 18 more megawatts of power, but that's okay. In fact, you know, let's check our power grid. It's been a minute. We're at 3600 capacity, and we're using 2250 at max. But as you can see, our total consumption, like by the minute, is barely over 500 right now, which is cool. I'm not going for like load balancing in this factory, and honestly that's a godsend because then we'd always have our max consumption being consumed and we'd be, you know, at 2256, which would not be cool because load balancing is under the assumption that you want everything to be running constantly with never like a break in production. And if that were the case, instead of like having everything be stored into like little storage bins, I mean you would, but you'd have the excess, like the overflow, be sunk into an awesome sink, so that even when your storage bins are full, you still keep making products and you see everything run. Kind of a dumb idea, honestly, if you're trying to play for the late game. It makes everything harder since you always need more power. I'm not doing that this run, which makes me question exactly what we're gonna do about power. And I think in this run we're actually gonna be utilizing priority power switches and all that. And I finally realized their use, because as somebody who, you know, back in 2020, basically 3 years ago now, yeah, it was in like November of 2020, I built a power plant that gave me 20,000 megawatts of power using turbo fuel oil generators, or fuel generators, you know what I mean, they run on oil. And I showed that in my main save, which had like 111 of them, giving about 20,000 megawatts of power-ish. It's either 20,000 or 18,000, something like that amount. But my total is like over 20K, and I haven't had to worry about power for a while, like ever, really. So when they introduced the priority power switch, I never understood why they would want that, but then I realized, it just hit me the other day, not everybody's gonna build up to that kind of scale. You know, these people, there's this wonderful thing called having a life to live. And I know some of the hardcore gamers out there are gonna be like, what life? But like, people do have them. Some people have lives, and they can't necessarily do massive projects, and they only have a limited amount of power, so they gotta use the priority power switches to denote what things get power and when. Because like, let's say you have 3,000 max power, right? But if your max consumption is like 3,600, then you can delegate like one part of your factory that has like 700 megawatts of power. You can turn that off to make your max consumption like 2,900 so that you don't go over your 3,000. And you can flip off, you can turn off another one that would have to activate a different part of the factory that's like another 700-ish megawatts, and you can just keep flipping them back and forth so that you can have one of them running at a time, you know, whichever one you need at the moment. So yes, that means that not always will you have like a certain part of your factory running, but it means that you never go overboard on power, and you just like upscale based on your current power, and you build more power switches for different projects and stuff like that. It's something I've never planned for, is what I mean to say. And so I never understood its purpose, but I think I get it now. You know, it's because it's a very simple concept and execution and theory. I just never thought about it. That is the first world problem of having too much power, folks. Well, I guess since we're overclocking that to 480, let's just take a Mark IV belt and drag this down the mountain. Oh, I'm gonna probably need to get more Mark IV belts. I didn't come prepared with many. That is unfortunate. I'll probably make it a good chunk down the mountain, so that's cool. I'm coping. Yeah, I made it right here. Still got a bit of a ways to go, but it is what it is. Also, something that I've been noticing for the past while now, like I wasn't very conscious of it before, but I say like and other filler words quite a bit, especially I feel in recent episodes, so I'm going to be consciously trying to not do that. Just say what I need to say. This is my next step forward as a YouTuber. Just don't use so many filler words. That's my next character arc. And hopefully they don't, you know, slip in there subconsciously. But that's the funny thing about the subconscious. I'm gonna look through this and I'll have said it about 50 times. And I guess I can address this now based on the criticism that I received to that one comment that I was talking about earlier, about how they were saying that I ramble on a bit too much sometimes, and it caused them to stop watching the video at a certain point. And I guess the big question in the air is, oh no, I've received my first bit of criticism. Will I buckle? You know, will I change everything about how I do things? And no. I'm not so disillusioned with my content that I feel like I have to do anything, like a massive overhaul of any sort. Like, I am confident that there is an audience out there for my speed of things, and I understand that there's the whole argument that like, oh no, the average viewer has like TikTok rot brain, so you need to have like ADHD editing and just be all over the place, and you gotta be wacky and zany and spastic, and you know, as somebody with ADHD myself, I don't believe that even a little bit. In fact, that kind of editing style is... Okay, maybe something to do with the editing style. I really like Mia Cole videos, and those are, yeah. Is that the second time I've mentioned her on this series? I don't remember. Super underrated YouTuber, though. But yeah, me personally, I definitely prefer it when people are real, and when somebody's, like, putting on, like, an excited voice, you can tell, you know? And I hate the performativeness of, like, oh man, oh god guys, look, this tiny little thing just happened, so now I'm going to wildly spastically freak out about it for views and clout, and it comes across as so fake, and don't love that shit, not gonna lie. I've never been into like PewDiePie or Markiplier, and I know this is very like a contrarian thing, like, oh, I don't even like the big YouTubers, but it just never appealed to me to see somebody clearly like acting for views and money. And while I, you know, may have harshly misjudged them as a moody teenager, I can definitely respect what they do now, especially since both of them have moved on from such content. And like, I still don't watch them, but I understand what they've done for the platform. And although like the freak out for attention meta wasn't really my thing, it was an important step for YouTube, I suppose. That being said, I don't think I'm better than anybody. I don't have this holier-than-thou attitude. I just think that there's definitely an audience for people who want others to talk maybe a bit more concisely. Slower, if you will. It's a wild concept, but like my favorite genre of YouTube video is the 9-hour video essay about some random topic I've never even heard of. I know, wild opinion, like extremely hot take in 2023. This guy likes video essays, wow. And I guess this is because I just don't consume a lot of short form content. I've never really used TikTok in any meaningful way, or any kind of shorts, like YouTube shorts. Or Vine. I was never into Vine. I like Vines. I do like a lot of those Vine compilations. I think that was probably the best of these short form websites, but I was never into it when it was like first coming out. I've only seen like the popular, like, oh, these Vines that slap my potatoes. Those kind of compilation videos. And I think like not engaging with these in the long run has helped me to just, you know, keep my, you know, my good attention span. And I know there's an audience out there who feels the same, or, you know, doesn't require me to have like wild ADHD editing, fake my voice, etc., and prefers a bit of a slower, more methodical approach. And I know I'm kind of rambling right now, but I guess my point here is I know what I'm trying to do, and I know the kind of content that I would want to watch. So I'm not so insecure in what I'm making that, you know, the first bit of criticism, I'm like, oh, well, time to change everything. No. It's gonna stay the same, but to be fair, a 7.5 minute rambling intro is not the greatest look or the greatest opening to a video. So I'll probably try to cut back on that a bit for sure. But if I have 7.5 minutes of things to say that I find to be important, or hell, even like 10 minutes of things to say, I'm just gonna do it because I think what I put out is good. At least good for like what I can do at the time. And I'm not saying that I'm complacent or that I'm not always trying to improve, because I am. But you know, I thought the video was good. I do think something I could work on is like trying to find things to put on the screen when I'm just like talking though. I'll usually just like stand here staring into space doing nothing. These are all things that I have to think about behind the scenes. Anyways, this episode we're building the steel thing, and I'm not gonna stall this out for another one. We're doing this now. So all that aside, let's fucking do this. So we've marked forward the coal right to our steel setup, and I guess we're also going to overclock this since we don't have another iron vein anywhere around. We probably want the same amount, I would assume. First off, let's check the foundry. And I know that you can't get any steel in the smelter, but just had to double check and see if there was an alternate recipe or something that maybe we could do. Oh, but we do have an alternate for solid steel in the thing. So we can do steel, which is 45 of each per minute for 45. So a nice 1-to-1, fairly simple. And then we have solid steel ingots, which will be 40 iron ingots. So rather than like just the raw material, we do have to add the step of adding iron ingots with raw coal, because, you know, coal doesn't have like an ingot phase. But although that will take a little bit more power since you have to add an extra step, the ratio becomes 1 to 1.5, because you get 40 to 60. So we're actually gaining 20 free materials, or like 0.5 more for nothing, which is super based, and this recipe is way better. And if you want to know the exact numbers about why this recipe is better, like you already know getting more for the same amount is good, right? I would hope that you would know that. But here's the exact numbers for the amount that we could get right now. Using the base recipe, we can get about 450 steel ingots per minute. A little bit over if we were to make another machine and do some either under or overclocking. I think that'd be underclocking to get like an exact 480-ish, right? Do like 25 in the last machine, something like that. But the point is, you get about 450, 480-ish steel ingots, something in that ballpark with the base recipe, using Mark IV belts and 480 iron and coal. But if we use solid steel ingots, adding in the extra step to convert the ore to iron ingots, we can get 720 steel ingots, which is, I don't know, like exactly as the ratio implies. You get 1.5 more. So instead of getting a max of 480, we now get a max of 720. And as you know, 720 divided by 240, and that's 3. And 480 is 240 times 2. So we're just adding another onto that, and we're just getting a whole extra third of steel ingots for the exact same amount of ore. Which, like, I don't know, is a lot in this case. I think 240 extra ingots is not anything to sneeze at, especially considering how expensive steel beams are to make. So honestly, I'm really glad to have this recipe. I knew it was good to get it when we got it, but you know, only having done like, what, 5 to 10-ish hard drives in this world, I feel like this is kind of lucky. I feel like I've been relatively lucky with the ones I got. I mean, I have like 3 of the pure ones already when there are so many trash alternates out there. So yeah, I think it's needless to say, we're gonna use solid steel, and let's plan around that. So we're gonna need 12 machines because we're using 480 ingots, right? And we divide that by 12 to get 40 per minute. Only issue is now we have to determine what we're doing to get iron ingots, and that is the less fun part about this because... Oh, let me take the Mark II off the to-do list, by the way. Well, the only auth for iron ingots that we have is the pure recipe, and I don't know if I want to use water for this right now, especially considering the fact that we can't really do a lot with extra iron, per se. You know, with this specific build, since we need the exact same amount of coal, or we... at the very least would like the exact same amount of coal. Of course, it would be good to have leftovers, and if we did the pure recipe, it would be beneficial to us in the long run. But like I said, most of this is going to be temporary. That's kind of how I do things, so I'm not really planning towards the long run per se right now. If you couldn't tell, I just kind of wing it with these episodes, and we do things on the spot, like on the fly. So yeah, no need to do a refinery. We'll just use the base recipe. So this means we're not actually starting with the foundations, starting with the line of smelters that will go into foundations, and then etc, etc. Okay, but to smelt that much iron, using the base recipe of 30 ore to 30 ingots, and we have 480. That will end up being, like a lot of machines. Off the top of my head, I think that's 16. We got 30 times 10, 300. 30 times 5 is 150, so that's 450, and then another 30 for 480. So 10, 5, 1, we get 16 different machines. And, you know, that's kind of a lot of space. Not so much space if we use several rows, though I don't know how we're going to... Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If this is like one wider, bro. Oh, I could have got 8 and then done 2 lines of 8. Well, we're trying to get 16, so we have options. I mean, 4 lines of 4 could work, but that is a lot of space the other direction, and we're trying to not use that much space here. And we do have the space above us to make this kind of a multi-layered factory, though, if need be. So I might utilize that and try to go for the 4x4, actually. We could also do 3 lines that aren't totally symmetrical. We could have 1, 5, 5, and a 6. Or, yeah, no, 3 lines will work because we'll do 5, 5, 5, and then I just have one overclocker, like, at the end. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm trying to be, like, the most accommodating I can for the space, while also considering that we're probably going to be building a second floor for this, like, in between these 2 floors. With that in mind, let us start building, I suppose. We'll put smelters right here. 5 of them lined up. Okay, very cool, very cool. Now we just gotta repeat this, but keeping in mind our splitting and merging. So we're going to merge all 5 of these, and do kind of like how we did up there, and merge them onto the side here, right? Run them down the line. So that's where we're merging. And we're gonna have the splitter line go down that side, so that's where we're splitting. And here's gonna be our next little thing of boys, our little boyfriends. I could have thought about the wording there, but it is what it is. Yeah, just like before, we'll use a space of 2 platforms in between each set of smelters, and we just follow the grids. I've been hearing that you can force the grid line by holding down control. I didn't know this. This is like pretty helpful, and it also moves it like, you know, inch by inch, kind of like you're nudging, which is pretty neat, rather than just having like free reign like this. You know, you can hold control, which you still have free reign, but it's a lot more snappy this way. And that's super helpful, so thank you. I don't know why I didn't think to try this before. But yeah, we just line everything up with the grid, and it's super nice and easy. And we'll just do the same thing pushed up front here as well. Yeah, so I guess those are done, like this will just be a smelting floor, which then moves up to a middle floor. That's fine. I'm not coping. Guys, look at me. I'm reading your comments and I'm learning and I'm improving. I'm holding control to place stuff now, and I'm doing the thing for the little pipe segment junction things too. Oh, I'm getting better at Satisfactory. This is the Rara improving arc, and y'all are bearing witness to it. Also, I saw a few episodes ago about a comment talking about maintenance floors, where basically you run materials into like a pre-built floor that you did yourself, kind of like this. Sometimes people will use like glass for the floors so they can see the things running under the factory. I know of this concept, like I have been pretty familiar with it for years, and I've tried something like this in my main factory in certain points of the main save. It's just not something I've generally like planned massively around before, but it's something that I do kind of want to try, and it kind of evaded. What's the word? Eclipsed my mind. What's the word? Escaped, I guess? I didn't think of it this playthrough. Like I said, I was really into Satisfactory for the better part of like 2 years straight. From most of 2020 to like most of 2021 all the way up to 2022. But like from 2022 to like mid 2023, I didn't really play this game that much. So as like super in tune that I was with the community and the fandom and the game, you know, back in my peak, I'm like slowly getting back there. So like all these concepts and everything, they're just flooding back to me. But yeah, I think that's a great idea, having a little maintenance floor that you don't really. It's because rather than having to slide under everything like this, you know, just having all the materials run under the factory is a great idea. It allows for plenty of space, you know, for you to walk around, make adjustments without you to jump and slide over everything. And I know some people are so adamant about these kinds of things that they will not build their factory with conveyor belts on the ground floor. They always build the conveyor belts under the floor. And they'll just build like little floor holes right here, right in front of each machine, and this directly connect them with a conveyor lift. And if this is like eye-opening information, that is a way you can play. And honestly, I would recommend it. It takes a bit more planning, obviously, but it is worth it in the long run, I would say. And this is like the one concept that I neglected in my Mega Factory, that if I were to redo things or to go in there and like edit stuff, I would totally change it to incorporate this stuff. And like I said, some people will use the glass floors so they can see everything underneath to keep that sort of industrial, you know, oh, things always moving, you know, conveyor belts and things like that, just constantly surrounding them. It's a good aesthetic, and it's very, like, if you feel that way about it, that's, you're a true steampunker at heart. I respect. I feel like steampunk has kind of died as a genre. Can we bring that back? I know everybody's in the cyberpunk kick right now, and trust me, it's everybody's genre. I've been ranting about this for a while. Cyberpunk is great, but steampunk though, that fucks. Anyways, let's get back to building stuff. So we want to split on this side and merge on that side, like we did with that other build, you know, the what was that, copper sheets up there? Yeah, copper sheets, wherever I built those. I think it's right there. So I will set up a splitter right here in the middle of this, facing forward. Oh, that's a bit too far in that direction. And then we want to duplicate this splitter right here in the middle of this platform. Good. And right here. Now, down each of these rows, I'm just going to place splitters so that we can get, you know, conveyor belts into all these things. And I will see y'all in a second. Okay, splitters all placed. Let's freaking go, gamers. Now let's get all these connected before I place all the mergers. Otherwise, I might make a little mistake and get confused because I'm a silly. So that's the line we want to use, and this is where we're going to connect it. So let's bring it over here. All right, let's delete this and kind of reposition it a little bit. Delete this stupid coal from our inventory. All right, come here, coal. Come on. Come here, baby. Just follow the line. Oh, if we try to connect it here to there, it'll clip through the floor. So we want to just go right in the middle here. And yeah. There we go. Nice and easy. And we're going to mark for it down the line here, as well as across for each of the 3 things. So I'm just gonna be connecting lots of conveyor belts really quick. And you know, I say like, oh, we're gonna run this conveyor down, we're gonna run this conveyor across. But honestly, it's just how I'm feeling in the moment. This could either be counted as down, in my opinion, like down the line, or across the line. There is absolutely no consistency with that, as you've probably noticed in this series so far. So take what I say about this with a grain of salt, but you get the basic gist, I would hope. And since we're doing 30 ore in, and we're receiving 30 ingots, we only need to use a Mark 1 belt. One of these machines will be overclocked to do, you know, 60 and 60, but still, that's just Mark 1. So we use Mark 1 belts in for all the things, and I repeat this 15 times. Next up, let's give them all the recipe. I'm just going to quickly copy these over, you know the drill. Okay, recipes copied. Then we place down the mergers, and the merger is going to be running on that side. So we'll merge down the line, as you know, and merge right here for this one. So we'll get our first merger facing this direction, placed right here in the middle of that square. And just like how we did with the splitters, we need to have one on each side here, on each row. And right there. Now, I'm just gonna have mergers facing this way that will connect to these mergers for each of the rows, and I'll see you again in a second. There's a lot of building, but you get so much building with this, you know, with 15 smelters. This is just the start too. Since, you know, after this, we're going to be working on the foundries, getting the steel smelted. All of this is to just get the iron smelted before we even get the steel we want. So that's fun. Oh, and I still have to build the floor above this one. I wanted to get this done first, though, so I could get like a better idea of where I need to add the floor holes for later. Okay, and for all of them, we're going to mark one out, and then we'll mark 4 across. And since I want the overclocked ones to have the least amount of travel time, what we'll do is we will overclock the first one right here at the end of it all, where it's all gonna meet up about right here, right? And then we will ship it up to the second floor right here at the end. That'll do it. With all 15 of these machines, we're gonna get 480 iron. Let me just finish up connecting each of the things. Okay, and lastly, we just want to mark for down the mergers over here and connect it to the final merger. Okay, everything's all splitted and remerged and cool. Now, time for power. We'll take this pole and put another pole here, and do like we always do. And then we will just take this pole and move on to the second row, and then the third, and I'll see y'all in a sec. And you're probably wondering why I don't use power pole Mark IIs by now, and to that I say, I don't know. I don't know. Probably should do that. It's definitely a thought that I've had about things that I should do. But you know, haven't really necessarily needed to, so I don't, I guess. I'll probably end up using the Mark IIs or even the Mark IIIs when we finally go for that final, you know, build for our much later game factory. Was nobody gonna stop me and tell me that I'm a moron before I added all the coal to these iron smelters? God damn it. Okay. I know the audience probably saw that coming from a mile away, but I honestly, genuinely did not. So let's delete that for now. And motherfucker. Now we've got coal all up in our shit that we don't want coal in. That is unfortunate. Yeah, there's coal in all of these, except for the merging lines, but in every single line that's connected to like one of the splitters, there's coal in every single one of these. Not good. Not good. Well, there's 2 ways of going about this. Either we delete every single line, or we upgrade and then downgrade / to get rid of them, to replace them, and then redo them. I'm just gonna delete them. I think that might be easier. I'm just gonna go to every single one and delete them. And I'm gonna redo this. So this is what being a disappointment's like. Alright, I've redone it all, and why is there still coal on this line? What the fuck? I guess some of it was like trapped in some of the... Oh god, okay, hold on. I'm gonna do a final count and make... How is there still stuff stuck in there? Just stop! Stop! Okay, make sure there's no more coal anywhere, and if there is, I guess we'll find out, because eventually there'll be like a stop in the production. Oh, yep, there's some coal at the end of this one too, and I'm yep, some over there as well. Fun. Come on out, you cock. There needs to be a, like a mass delete. But what it is like you shift click or something on a belt, and it gets every belt connected to that belt, and it removes all of the ore in like a whole line. Kind of like what we have for the pipeline flushing right now. Like with that whole system. They need to have that, but with conveyor belts, or flushing, if you will. That would help so much in situations like this. Which I guarantee happen all the time, because I'm not the only dumbass out there. Okay, now we'll add the iron. Maybe we should have flip-flopped this whole this whole thing with the mergers on that side, splitters on this side, because the iron's over here, but I planned this around using the coal from this side. So, I'm not redoing all of this, and we're just gonna drag the iron down this line and into here. Don't mind the curvature of that. It's a straight line. I'm not coping. Let's bring it over here, line it up with all of this, get a nice U-turn going in. And there we go. 480 iron a minute, being split up between all these smelters, and giving us lots and lots of fun stuff. Why, oh, don't tell me every single one of these is backed up with like one piece of coal. That is a cruel twist of the knife. Oh, that is so fucked up that I have to go and replace every single one of these. Well, not the ones at the end, since I already fixed those issues, but apparently there was coal trapped in every one of these. It is what it is. Okay, with no more coal backing up any of them, the build finally works. We're making 720, no. Wait, yes, 480 iron ingots a minute, which will then become 720 steel ingots later. Oh, we did the thing. I'm gonna let this back up for a little bit. Okay, and while we're waiting for this all to back up, let's plan second floor stuff. Will I even have space in between these two floors for that? This is why we do planning. We want it to be at least about this high so we can go above the smelters. Foundries are actually smaller than smelters, or the same height. I can't tell from this angle, but like it's about the same. And smelters need a height of like 2, I guess. Let me just confirm this. No, okay, smelters need a height of like 2.5 or more. So 3. Okay, good to know. Had to check. So we go up 1, 2, 3, and we'll call this our floor level. And then we'll get some of these 4-meter foundations to fill in the holes there. There we go. Now we have stairs. Yeah, just making sure all of our machines are actually going to fit here, and it looks like we'll be fine. So long as we don't need to build any god diddly dang darn refineries, because they are tall boys. I mean, you need a height of like 5 to deal with refineries. Oh, hold on, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need a height of 8 to just barely not clip into their furnace things. Is that a helicopter? What the fuck is happening out there? Yeah, that's like an actual helicopter flying by right now. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I live near like a flight base where there's just tons of planes, and every now and then we'll hear one that's loud as hell. And I don't mean like an airport. I mean like a place where they just have like a shitload of like old school planes, some like huge fucking like kind of I guess old school planes, and just planes that don't really see much action anymore, but still occasionally get taken out. I don't really know what the purpose of it is, but there's lots of planes here, that's all I know. What I do know is that we need to finish building out this floor. Oh Jesus, this is gonna be a tight squeeze over here in this corner. And now we do fill in the blank. See this big square? We place foundations in here. Oh, but we gotta be mindful of our head and make sure we can keep the walkway open, so we can't actually use the space in the back here. You might be wondering if we're going to build the walls in this episode. No. Once I get a more finalized structure of this building, then I'll consider walls on the higher floors, but for now it's just going to be like an open skybox thing. We'll figure it out later. So, all of our bars will meet up here, and I guess they'll just be rushed right up there, and then we'll do like a flip-flop, where all these machines are facing this way, and then all of our foundry is going to face that way. So we want this to go right there, and in the middle of this hole facing up, we want a floor hole. Boop. There we go. We simply take a Mark IV conveyor lift and plug it into the floor hole, or we would if I had actually placed that correctly, but I'm silly. And then we grab our Mark IV belt and put it in the thing. Now we've actually got to take those 480 ingots and turn it into stuff. Unfortunately for us, unless we want to use like all of our power shards, the base recipe for this only consumes 40 of those 480 a minute. So we're going to be needing at least 12 machines, which means 3 lines of 4, or in other words, more real estate. More real estate. And that means we can't just turn our conveyor lift around that way and just run it down like that. But also, if we did it like this, we wouldn't have enough space, I don't think. So, this is a little bit of a thought. Why don't we turn it neither of those ways and actually turn it around? And then, you see, this is awkward now. Because I thought, like, what if we run the belt around here and then just go this way, and then we could split it off from this line. But then that just kind of gets in the way of our walking here, and that's not super cool. Ah, but see, what if instead we deleted the stuff on the first floor and did that same concept, but down here. So instead of having the floor hole on this square, we need to have the floor hole on this square. We'll just drag this around the staircase. Nothing weird or suspicious happening back here at all. Definitely no drug deals going down. And then right on this hole right there, maybe we floor hole it up. Based. Real. Conveyor lift going down. Receiving. A big fallen. And then we belt it on in. Okay, here's hoping that this works out with no issues. We receive facing this way. Okay, yeah, that like, that like fits in the box. So we'll just do this times 4. Although I guess it didn't matter because putting them together did not allow me to fit them all into the box like how I wanted, but it's okay. It's okay. And we're gonna have a little bit of extra space here. Although, if we did have this much extra space, we can't fit in 6 is the problem. We can't do 2 lines of 6 to get our 12. As we can only do up to 5, I think. Well, actually? Yeah, we wouldn't have a lot of space. We could build this out 1 more, but then we wouldn't have like a perfectly, like the same floor on each. We'd be extending out a little bit. Not like that would necessarily be an issue, though. This isn't necessarily gonna be spiral shaped, but some kind of weird thing. Because I'd rather do 6 lines of 2, and I think that's all we really have space for up here for these foundries. Yeah. I don't know if 3 lines of 4 is really going to cut it. So let's add 1 more row of foundations facing this way. Oh goodness, I'm out of concrete. That is awkward. Luckily, concrete's literally right below us, and it's just barely within grabbing range. Can I get back up there? Just like, Parkour! Let's go! Let's go! Okay, 2 things with space, and then here we are with the 2nd row of foundries. Here, we should do this with the first one, since the first one's like right perfectly on the thing. So it's gonna be hard for me to mess this up. Yeah, right on the thing, and like right there. Oh, see, that's funny. That is funny, because I forgot this has 2 inputs instead of 1. So this design isn't exactly going to work out like how I thought it would. Although, I mean, kind of, right? We could just do some conveyor lifts going over. Let me think about this for a minute. Well, here, let's get started, and then we will see if we need to make adjustments in a minute. So we split here. And we will split in the first hole of each of these. Ooh. Yeah, that's cutting it close. Let's do a test thing here. Based on a Mark IV belt in between the thing. Fuck, I need industrial beams. Okay, well, you know what? We'll use a Mark III belt. Doesn't really matter what belt. I think we'll be able to do this, though. And then, I mean, probably only need like a Mark I lift. Yeah, we can fit this in. Oh, yeah, we can fit this in. This is awkward with this being, like, over a hole. If we filled in this hole, that'd be great. I was gonna say we can move the stairs over, but now we've got this little doodad. What if we tried to fill in the hole? Oh, I guess that works. We could walk through perfectly fine. I thought that might cut off our head, but now that actually makes the build work, so... It is what it is! Yeah, now the build works, so I will go and get more Mark IV belts and just, I guess, load up on materials in general. We are back. Ooh, a full chest of modular frames now. That's hot, hot, hot. It's getting darker out here, Jesus. Ooh, but look at how the conveyor lights light up. I like this. I like this. I just wish it wasn't so dark, but it like, this is its own aesthetic, isn't it? Just like the dim lights of the conveyor belts in the darkness. We call it the vampire. We don't want none of that authentic sunlight, but the artificial lights, Okay, now we mark 4 in here. We mark 4 down. And since it's using 40 a minute, we'll mark 1 in. And it is a bit preemptive, but we will have receiving conveyor lifts, mark 1. Just, you know, ready to receive. And now we'll set this up for the second row. Same exact situation. Ooh, I just hope that there's space in between these machines to get the coal coming in from over there. There's a bit of space over here in the back, right? Not so much over here. We'll figure it out. What the hell's happening here? Overlapping other objects clearance clipping may occur. What? Game, what do you mean by that? This is a splitter, right? Conveyor splitter. And it's oriented the right way, yes? Yes, receiving there, splitting on those sides. So then why? What? Okay, let's try this again, maybe? Yeah, no, how? What? What? No, this one's not working either. Am I high? Did... Conveyor splitter. Splitting off that way. Receiving that way. Oriented that way. Why? Wait. What? Now it's working? Ooh, what the fuck is happening? I think I was in a weird build mode or something. I don't know. Yeah, whatever that was, I don't want to be in that anymore. But I pressed Control and Alt and Space until eventually it worked out. And yeah, we run the Mark IV belt down here. Very cool. Very cool. And then across on all the things, and then we'll mark 1 on all the things. And we'll set up the conveyor lifts. Facing that way. What? How? Alright. Now we just need to pray that this all fits together. Okay, so we'll find the middle of the platform here and try to line it up with the machines. Yep, there we go. Yeah, this should give us the space we need. Right there. Although, I guess I was kind of hoping we could use that for power poles. The power situation might be a little weird, but we'll figure it out as we do. Okay, each of these machines is going to be giving us a 60 per minute, so we'll do the Mark 1 in for all the things. In fact, you know, we'll actually upgrade these to our Mark 2 just in case. Just in case. And on this line, since we're doing 60 times 6, that's 360. So we kind of have to use a Mark IV belt down the line. Oh, it's kind of awkward how, like, out far this is, because then we need, like, another merger. Kind of like... I mean, ideally, you're in the middle of the square, but I guess that isn't going to work out for us. Well, I mean, no, this is the last merger we need, really. We can just take this and then go over there. So I'll just, like that, I suppose. Yeah, that's the middle of the platform, that'll work. Now we just gotta connect all the coal. That won't be awkward. Oh right, coal's still on the first floor, we gotta get this up here too. See, I wanted coal to be like ground level, splitting off here, connected to conveyor lifts. Okay, I think we should get all the coal connected first, and then figure out what we're gonna be doing about the merging. Oh, and this doesn't even work for all the rest, because then that would clip into the thing. That sucks a lot of donkey dicks. So there wasn't even space here to get the coal in the first place, I don't think. Yeah, because even if we get like this far out. There's no space to get in there. We would have to do the floating things right now, which I guess is our only option. Okay, yeah, so then we will use we'll use this line here for merging. That line will be for coal, and we will bring it up over here. Yeah, coal will be raised right here into the floor, right here. Using a Mark IV lift facing this way. Very dope. So why don't we get that all connected? We want it over here. Oh, Jesus. This whole thing is a mess of, like, not pre-planning stuff. That's like, wait, you know what? We can still make this work and make it not look weird. Because I have a plan. And, that plan is called ceiling conveyors. And I need ceiling conveyors. And for that, I'm going to need a ceiling. Conveyor ceiling mounts. And we will connect a lift back over here. Like so, and we'll just figure out all this. Hey there, friend. Why don't you come with me this way? Oh, that's just, it's facing the wrong way, my bad. And then drag the Mark IV belt in. Okay, yes, this will give us the desired results. Let's just add a few more of these for consistency's sake. And to make it look cool. Well, I guess we'll do the first one. We don't really necessarily need the first one. And we'll just do this from underneath. Oh, and we need a receiving Mark IV one. Yes, that will work. And in you go. Okay. Problem solved. We're not taking up our space here. And we got the coal up where we wanted it to be. Oh, but this was just like a temporary extension to the floor that we didn't really want to be permanent. Yeah, let's see what we can do about deleting that. Well, let's delete this. I guess it works, right? It still works. We've got conveyor lifts kind of all over the place, solving little logistical issues all over. Still works. I'm not coping. Okay, now we need splitters right in here. Yeah, right in here. Like on that line. Yes. Oh no! Shit. Now I gotta use this sort of weird way to get up. Okay. Mark IV in. Then we go above here. Yep. Mark IV above. And we have to set up splitters in the air like we have been doing in the past. So let's get them facing that way. Lined up here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, and they're pressed right up against those mergers. Although, I guess, yeah, we're deleting those, so it isn't. Yeah, it's fine. Now let's just keep doing that. And I'm gonna have to do that 6 more times. Yay! For now, though, we take the Mark IV and run it down. And finally, for this row, we just take the Mark I and we bring it into the conveyor lifts. Yes, sir. I should have ended this episode when I created the first floor stuff, because this is gonna be a longer one now. More editing for me to do. Yay! And now give me another splitter. We'll come down here, and we actually have space to not need to do all of that over there. So that's really freaking cool. So we'll actually go right in the middle of the thing here. Right about there. Yep. And I will split off, ready to receive into each of these thingies. Then we'll do Mark I conveyor lifts pointed outwards, that way. And we'll just connect them with the Mark I belt. Next, we run the Mark IV down, and then across. Oh, we still haven't given them the recipe yet. I'm just going to solid steel and copy and paste. Okay, then we merge, which will be right over here. We're gonna grab all these facing this way, bring them over here. And since getting 60 like we did on the other one, we'll use Mark IIs just to be certain that they're all going to escape their foundry prison on time. That was a weird way of saying that. And like before, it's 360 total on this line, so we want to use a Mark IV belt. Okay, and then these will all culminate in the ultimate merger right here, facing this direction. Oh. That's a little bit awkward. Can I even get this in there? Maybe, right? Oh, that's a foundation. I want this belt. Yeah, I mean, I guess it technically works. I really don't like doing this, but yeah. It is what it is. Okay, so everything is merged up together. Wait, actually no, that's not gonna work. We can't merge it all together because we can't hold 720 things on a belt yet. Okay. Well, luckily we don't need to have that monstrosity anymore, but this brings into the question what we're gonna do with both of these lines. It might look a little awkward. We're gonna leave this as it is for now, and we'll figure that out in the next episode. Real quick, I'm just gonna give these all power, and that'll be it. We do need to get the power line up to the second floor, though. What if I just took this one and, like, made, yeah. What if I just did that? And then we took a power pole and just put it where that one is. Oh, Jesus. Is that this one? No, I'm a little off. Okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, we want the power line to be... Oh, I don't know. There's not a good spot over here. We want the power to be behind these foundries, but also in front of these foundries. Well, these things have the connections in the back, which makes that a bit awkward. Although, you know what? Here, these poles kind of line up a little bit. It's not, I'm not gonna try to make this like 100% spot on, but well, we'll just line these up with their visible connection thingies. This is the fun of Satisfactory. You know, all episode here, I've been dealing with logistical problems of how we're gonna get this over here, how we're gonna get this over there, how we're gonna make this work, and, you know, figuring out solutions to these kinds of problems is, I would say, a big part of the fun of the game. Now, you might entirely disagree on that, but, you know, it's to each their own. I feel like this is the only one that's like a little bit off. Shouldn't it be perfectly lined up, should it? It should be like right there, I think. Yeah, that's probably better. But since that doesn't line up perfectly, we'll grab this and not clip into a rock? Oh. Oh. Okay, no, we won't. Okay, you know what? We know that this is like one off of the thing right there. There's no wire clipping there, cool, and we'll just connect these in the back. That's awkward. I mean, it works. that works. Okay. Now we just line up the rest with their things. No, what the hell happened? How what? Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Why is this one not connected to power? Oh, because none of them are connected to power because I haven't connected to the grid yet. I'm setting up their little grid, and then we'll figure out the whole connection to everything else later. Could we maybe go right here and then connect it from under? Yeah, I guess that would work. Let me get a good look at this. So what we'll do is we'll just do a wall outlet directly underneath, connect it to that so you can't see the wire. Replace this. And find a way to get this on the ceiling. I think I already found it. Just do like that. Yay! You can hear them hum to life. Oh, we made good progress this episode. We smelted all the iron we needed to. And now we're using that iron in tandem with coal to be smelting all of the steel ingots that we need to as well. So I'm gonna let this all run for a little bit, but I've been Rara. Thank you all very much for watching this episode of Satisfactory. In the next one, we're going to use these steel ingots to make, you guessed it, steel stuff. Very exciting. This is quite the project in comparison to what steel used to be before this. We were using just a fraction of these machines for, well, honestly, just a fraction of the steel. But now we've upscaled everything. And let's see, our max consumption has shot up way up. Well, like 200, 300 more? 2,500. Our regular consumption is up to 700. But these will all back up soon enough. and that will drop down once again. I guess the goal is to keep the factory at a standstill, always get it all full, and never have things running for too long. That's our temporary way of coping with not having a lot of power. But yeah, anyways, in the next one, we'll merge these, we'll figure out what to do with all that, make the steel stuff, and we'll finally be done with all the rebuilding after a good chunk of time. So yeah, see you then, everybody. Bye!